Welcome to today's lesson where we're going to be talking about exponent rules, the division property of exponents. Now, if you watched my previous video, which hopefully you have, my last two videos have shown you what you do with a zero exponent and an exponent that is negative, and then also what our multiplication property of exponents is. So today is all about the division property, which is exactly the same, just an opposite being used. Okay, let's take a peek at what we're dealing with here. First problem, I have a as my base for both of these terms, and I'm dividing with two different exponents. So because my base is the same, just like in the multiplication property of exponents, I can write down my base. And now how I solve what the answer is going to be, or simplify it, I should say, is just simply by subtracting my top exponent by my bottom exponent. So I'm going to say m minus n. And that is how you would complete this problem. It's whatever the top exponent minus the bottom exponent is to simplify. Now that's your base rule. This is the algebra showing you what you do. Now let's do it on an example where we actually can find an answer. So I have 3 to the 4th power divided by 3 to the 2nd power, or 3 squared. My base is the same, 3 and 3, so I'm going to copy that down, 3. And now I'm going to say 4 minus 2, which gives me a 2. Okay, so 3 squared is my answer, and we all know that 3 squared really just means 3 times itself, 2 times. So my total answer, or my most simplified answer, is going to be 9. 3 times 3, which is 9. Some kids will sometimes I'll see kids say 3 squared, which equals 6. It doesn't equal 6. It's not 3 times 2. This means 3 times 3, 2 times, which equals 9. Okay, so let's go into some other examples of this. What you're going to see, I'll give you one where we come out with a negative result for an exponent and what you would then want to do there. And then if you've watched my previous video, that would make total sense to you. So please make sure to tune into those other videos. Make sure you have the full grasp of exponent rules, because once you know them all, you understand how they all work. So if I were to do, let's do a variable, d to the 20th power divided by d to the 13th power. Base is the same. I have a d for both. I'm going to write down d to the, and I'm just going to take 20 minus 13. So my most simplified answer here is d to the 20 minus 13, which is 7. D to the 7th power is the best result and the most simplified that I can get this term. Okay, what other examples could I give? I want to show you maybe in boxes. Let's do that. Let's give you boxes that you could possibly fill in on the other side. So if you have a piece of paper at your desk right now and you're doing this with me, I want you to copy this down. If I were to give you x to the 15th divided by x to the 13th, I want you to write down x to the, put a box there, minus a box there, and you just put in what should go into those boxes. Okay, the rule is if my bases are the same, I subtract my exponents. So hopefully what you're copying down right now is a 15 and a 13. And we know that 15 minus 13 gives me 2. So simplifying, we would get x squared. All right, now last thing I want to show you is what happens if we come up with a negative result, a negative exponent. We need to know how we would simplify that down from there. So 2 videos ago, I posted online what a negative exponent does. So if I were to say x to the negative 3rd power, it's really just 1 over x to the 3rd power. It doesn't make this answer negative. It just makes a very small number. One more example now with a number would be 5 to the negative 2nd power is really 1 over 25, 1/25, because 5 squared is 25, so that value of 25 goes under 1. It just makes a really tiny number. So if I were to give you 3 to the 5th divided by 3 to the 7th, I'm going to get 3 to the 5 minus 7. Taking away 7 from a 5 is giving me a negative value. I get negative 2. I can't have a negative exponent. I have to keep moving forward. And that means I'm going to take this and I'm going to put that information under 1. and 3 squared turns into a 9. So when we are looking at 3 to the 5th power divided by 3 to the 7th power, we're going to really be talking about 1/9. Hopefully this all makes sense to you. It's just subtracting when you are dividing. So if you're dividing exponents that have the same base, powers that have the same base, you subtract the exponents. If we were multiplying them, let's go back to that previous video, a to the m times a to the n. It's really a to the m plus n. So when we divide, we subtract. When we multiply, we add. And that is really all there is to it. So hopefully this makes sense to you. Thank you for tuning in. Watch the other videos so that you have an understanding of what happens with negatives, a better understanding, I should say. And then also, if you were to get a 0, you know that it comes out to 1. So there's the first basic foundational skills to properties and rules of exponents. Good luck on your upcoming test.